I believe I'm live. I think I've got too much light, so give me 1 second. I believe I'm live. I think I've got too much light, so give me 1 second. Go turn it this way. Yeah, this should be much better light. I hope you are well today. I am well. I am recovering, if you want to call it, from a bit of a stomach ache. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn off the other video. Let's see here. I hope you're well. And I hope you're joining me live right now. Let's see. This is crazy because I can hear it, but I can't see it. Out of all this stuff. Okay, now. Give me 1 second. I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, I think we got it. All right, let's see. Make sure. We've got it. All right, so I'm going to say hello and hope that you all will check in with me if you're here with me. Remember, because I'm integrating in, I can't see if you're watching until I end the video. But if you say hello, then I know for sure that you're here. All right, so if you see the title and what you see behind me, the smoke, it's not a ghost. It's sage. Hold on. Until sage. So you may see it, and you'll, those of you who burn incense, you'll know. Okay, so let me turn this away. I'm gonna go. Oh, this is kind of hot though. Isn't that cool? Okay, so the title of the video, and I'm not gonna be live for an hour today because you've got everybody who's been chiming in and saying what needs to be said, and of course they're using it for monetization, and I'm not against them at all. In fact, hello, you can find jobs and create jobs in many different ways. I believe that any job, quote unquote, is worth doing. And of course, please don't take me out of context and don't be like, oh, a murderer, a hitman, that's a job. So Tigress thinks hitman jobs are cool. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there are many different scopes of work that can be created and generate ethical income, especially if ethically done, right? Just the same way you can perform a job and you can perform it unethically. It can be part of criminal enterprise. So I'm not against having a source of income through YouTube. I would like to have a source of income through YouTube myself. The reason being is I feel that I can contribute to our collective thought in many different ways. As a scientist, specifically on love and understanding behavior, gender to gender. I just believe that I can definitely, add something to the mix that is a different perspective, because my perspective is objective. I don't want to come and denigrate. And I'm very careful not to defame anyone or denigrate them. I just share my observations, and my observations for as long as I can remember, since high school, well before, have always been spot on. In fact, people know that about me. In fact, that's one of the main reasons why people don't invite me to, events where they know it's just half-assed. They don't invite me to parties where they know they're going to be doing crazy stuff, because it's just not my thing. And I understand that, we all have our things, right? But, and I'm not a goody two shoes by any stretch of the imagination, but there are things that are just not consistent with my standards. And some of you may hear that and you may say, oh my God, oh, she's this and that. No, you should have standards too. Even evil people have standards, ironically enough, if they're honest about the objective understanding of a standard. That's why they say, there's no honor amongst thieves sometimes. So you're wondering, what in the world is she talking about right now? And why is this relevant for today's Live on Love? Well, you saw the title. They don't care if we expose them. Who is them? Who is she referring to when she says, everyone else has been chiming in? Duh. Derek Jackson and the gentleman from the Shumaki way. I still don't know if that's the right way to pronounce that. I've watched some more of his videos, and he's not shared how to pronounce it. And I honestly have not even gone to the, I guess maybe the descriptor, if I remember correctly. He has no trailer. And remember, I am from the performing arts industry, so the technical aspects of it. And I like the aspect of YouTube having a trailer. So just keep that in mind if you're starting YouTube and you really want someone to understand what it is that you intend your channel to be about. Now, some, they just start their channel and they just want to do whatever they want to do. And that's perfectly understandable, because there is an audience for that. And this is going to be a great segue to my point for the title of this video. But there's also, keep in mind, there's an audience that if we don't know what it is that your channel is about, we're very likely not going to subscribe. So, and that doesn't mean that I'm not, because I subscribe to the Shamaki way or Shumake way. And I was watching his initial videos and they seemed, pretty straightforward and positively driven and things, on topics that I like to watch. And then he took a sharp left. And I expressed to you my concerns about that sharp left, and I was accurate. And I'll discuss that in the next video. But today I just wanted to go live for a very short period. I took about 5 minutes to get my technical issues underway or under control. So I'm going to end here in 9 minutes, 12:20, because this is pretty straightforward. You see, there's an audience for every type of show. Who's it? There's several, what is it? So there's Derek Jackson and someone Brumback or whatever, something like that. There's Kevin Samuels, right? Even the women, for whatever reason, continue to, well, I can surmise the reasons. We can also surmise the reason. I'll share one reason why I believe that women still will allow themselves in some way, shape, or form to be in the company of Kevin Williams. I understand that some women are suggesting that they have not given him permission to post the videos of their discussions. But what I would like for you to learn from me, please. And it's the same thing that I went live on this, but I went live in a personal aspect. And maybe you know what, I will share that video. The video, no, I did. Actually, I did share that video, I believe. I'll check and make sure. I'm in a pink hoodie. It was maybe only 3 days ago. And I'm in my truck and I am in the Popeyes drive-through. That's the video. Take a look at that. I can't remember what I titled it or entitled it. I can't remember right at the moment, and nor am I trying to remember at this moment, and nor do I want to move or go and fish through the computer and try to find out. And just so you're aware, because I'm not sure that I explained it, I had a stomach ache yesterday because I said I was recovering. I'm jumping around. I told you, folks, I am really going to enjoy some rest today. But I do have another live at 4 o'clock. That's, what I had mentioned to you all before, which is See Tigress Run. So please do come on over to that channel if you're interested in learning more about criminal justice reform and how you can help out in that process. Okay, and if you're in Charlotte, how you can help me get elected in this upcoming election. Okay, so the stomach ache was on the basis that I had taken my Sudafed and Allegra on an empty stomach yesterday. Yes, I know, cuckoo. And then called myself going to Dave & Buster's, and we got on the VR ride, that thing, and we did the Men in Black, and the Men in Black just shakes you up all over the place. So that was real fun. So basically my stomach was like, no. Yeah. And that pretty much lasted the entire day, even after I ate. I had breakfast, but things got away with us time-wise, and I hadn't had lunch yet. And yeah, so I even had to pull out the heating pad on yesterday evening. So that's why I'm just kind of like in super, super mellow mode. I'm feeling much better. In advance, thank you for any well wishes. I really appreciate it. Okay, so fast forward back to the point of the real point of this video. There's an audience, and I don't know why the young ladies continue to, show up for Kevin Williams, even if they think that it's going to be a private conversation. Again, what I want you to learn from me and from my channel and have as a big takeaway and grow therefrom, because I've had to learn this. Many others have learned this before you, so you're no different. No one's better than you, but we're sharing this with you, and if and you can use it to your benefit. Here's the deal, folks. And it was on expectations, the same thing that I was referring to in that other video. So definitely go check it out. It's only maybe 5 minutes long. Stop having expectations that are so high for people. And a lot of you you'll jump in right at this moment. You'll say, well, I don't have any expectations for, Kevin Williams. I'm not pressed like that, but you are, because you showed up to a shit show. And you are, because you're having an expectation that somehow you are going to be the person that either gets him straight to the point that he's going to be contrite, or that he's going to be, he's going to be sorry for his actions, or that you'll be the person that he will rate a 10, and you'll outsmart the Matrix or whatever. And they don't. Manipulators, narcissists, that's par for the philosophy of thought and the psychological analysis. They don't care like you care about what they think. They don't care that we have exposed them at the same level that you do. Their care is rooted in then a form of damage control. So they will, just as you all saw, Derek Jackson made a video, and I am laughing intentionally now, because I was just, as many of us were, even those of us who are academically trained in this, in this aspect, it was still very interesting to see him, number one, the way he speaks about himself in third person, but to then do a review of his video with his wife for the confessional. And he continued to speak about himself in the third person. You see, Derek Jackson very likely needs a mental health session with a professional, because there are some other deep-rooted issues that are there. So the main point that I'm sharing with you all is there's an audience for every type of show. It may not be your thing. You may not want to go to an LGBTQ show, drag show, or I'm not sure what they call them, like the dance vibes, like the house vibes. I've seen them in New York. I think they're crazy hot, right? But you may not want to go. And that's okay, because that's okay if you don't want to go to that show. You may even be an ally for the LGBTQ plus community, but you don't want to go because maybe you just don't like it. I may want to go see Kevin Hart. You may not find Kevin Hart funny. Please understand that, yes, there are people who do not find Kevin Hart funny. Please understand this. Equally, there are people who don't perceive the most societally accepted and most attractive person to be most attractive. You're going to be ugly to somebody. Do you see the flip side of these coins here? And so with you thinking that you're exposing them, and whereas like Tammy, I love Tammy Roman, I love her review. The Shumaki way, I again, I'll cover that next week. um, I don't think I watched Kevin Hick somewhat last night live, and then I watched his Q&A with his wife. I don't believe that he has chimed in on it. I didn't stay in the live long enough. You can please do share with me if he did. I would love to. I love information. And like I tell you all the time, knowing is half the battle. So I'm not the type of person who's just going to completely turn my mind off to information. But just as I mentioned in my expectation video that I'm referring to, you must have a door with a deadbolt lock, a screen door, before the opening of your mind. You see, and your screen door is there for you to what? Digest the meat and spit out the bones. And I always say you need to spit out the gristle as well, right? But too often we allow our front door to just swing wide open. We forget the deadbolt lock. We don't have a lot of protections on our mind. And until you can get to the point where you can calibrate and you can tune, because that's with calibration, if you will. Remember, we talked about balance. If you can balance your mind between truth and lies, and you can strengthen or sharpen your discernment, opening your door and watching these videos and then fussing with them online in comments, you have to understand that a lot of these people, you're not tearing them down. You're building them up, because a narcissist is going to deem any attention to constitute and justify their self-centeredness and their worthiness and their pedestal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they don't care if we expose them. And that's why I said, you know what, I don't want to give more energy to it, except where I can share information with individuals who are emotionally hurt by the fact that Derek Jackson has now been exposed as a fraud, if you will. These things should not hurt you. And if you have become emotionally hurt from his confession or from other YouTubers' insight into his true nature, his true character, that's where the problem lies. Do you understand? I hope you understand when you watch this video. And I've gone 3 minutes over, so I'll give 7 more minutes to it, just to say these two very important things as well. And I'm going to use these individuals as examples. And it's a tough decision, because it seemingly contradicts what I just told you. Because I am a public figure, and because being a public figure entails a mesh of your business and your personal life, albeit politics or my professional corporation, just that business sector, when you're out and about regularly, and of course this was prior to the pandemic, the individuals who are on YouTube and who are celebrities, whatever classification you consider them, A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, D-list, I don't know how, whatever you, that industry, and remember, those industries are the industries of my expertise and my experience, okay? So we are going to cross paths at some point, if not regularly so. And so I'm saying this to tell you that I will give examples of individuals because I've had personal experiences with them. Those are going to be the times, again, that appear contradictory to what I just said, because it's going to give the impression that I'm giving energy or giving attention to these individuals. And these individuals definitely have narcissistic behavior. And it's on par with Derek Jackson and on par with quite a few who have been exposed for the manipulative conduct that they engage. I'll mention a few names very quickly. And again, direct experiences. And this is not to denigrate them. This is so that you have an understanding of what's out there. You need to know what is out there. I don't want you to consider me your aunt. I don't want you to consider me your sister. I don't want that to be the case. Much like a behavioral psychologist or behavioral therapist, they take their profession very seriously. They take the responsibility and the impact that they would have on their clients very seriously. I do as well. And so stepping into a role of your friend can be very dangerous. And I want you to take this information and really do some self-inventory. Because again, they don't care that we expose them. So one of these individuals is Kevin Wesley. He has recreated his identity several times. And each time he does so because someone exposes him for his fraudulent conduct, okay? His brother, I was not able to really get clarity, even though Kevin was insistent that that was his biological brother. I just couldn't believe everything that he said based on his conduct. But his brother, La Truth, and La Truth's wife, who reside in Atlanta. Very similar, if not worse stories than what you see with Derek Jackson now. So I'll share my input. But again, remember, I'm not sharing regular ass advice. I'm sharing from the scope of the academia that I've learned, the positions that I've held that inseparably entailed this psychological aspect, this understanding of human behavior aspect. And I'm just sharing my observations with you so that you can make healthier decisions for you, because they do not care that we expose them. And as I expose these individuals, which is not my intention instead is to, again, share with you what likely a lot of you have already discovered, but we're going to point out the obvious in how we, the people that they crash into, the victims, right? Even though I do not assume a role of victim, but of course, by the legal definition of the term, we would be victims of their narcissism, victims of their fraud, right? We need to understand how to offensively protect ourselves and watch out, discern the characteristics of those individuals like these people. We need to be able to have our alarm well calibrated and see our alarm is the discernment, not just intuition, not just spiritual, but that book knowledge as well. So you're using it all together. And that's what I'm doing objectively and sharing with you my observations so that we can do better with avoiding them altogether. You don't have to be their audience. You are very likely not going to be Captain America for the United States or the world, nor am I, especially if individuals still attend their shit shows. In fact, I'll go as far to say this, and then I'll see you next week. Consider these two things as I leave you. We helped create them. We help them to become the monsters that they are because we give them an audience. Remember, I mentioned minstrel. This is the second thing. And then I'll bid adieu. A minstrel show is intended to distract you. Grab and seduce you with everything that they know you want to hear or see. Didn't I just talk about this with Kevin Samuels? He said it out of his own mouth, and a lot of you heard it, but you didn't listen, and you let it go from out one ear, in one ear and out the other. He said, "Well, this is what I do over here." But what am I? Am I kidding myself? Who am I kidding? You all are here for this instead. And he's going to give you that show because he needs the money. They do not care that we expose them. We created the monsters that they are. You, more specifically, because I'm only watching now just to see what y'all were talking about. Because I am so like, it's so funny because when I try to catch up on a lot of the things that that are trending, if you will, I was like, wow, I don't attend any of these shit shows. And this is interesting. I'm like, wow, do you not see this? You just turn it off. Find something else to watch. When you give them 1 million followers, you create the monsters that they are. See you next week.